Hello and welcome to Tuesday Talks with the Conways.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Chris. Glad to have you all this week. The moment we went live, one of our cats decided to hiss at another cat. So
They're making, if you hear weirdness, it's them behind us.
I promise we're not.
They're
doing anything
fighting.
weird.
They're fighting.
Yes. So they've decided to wait though until we go live.
Yeah.
But welcome to this week's edition of Tuesday Talks with the Conways. We're kind of switching things back up again, I guess, a little bit. Our previous setup, I guess the microphone wasn't quite picking up quite the way it needed for the recording. I think it worked just fine for the live. But we want to make sure that the recording is optimal so that those that listen to the podcast can hear it without having any issues. So welcome to St. Patrick's Day version. I've got my Stitch. And she's got her Mickey. We're repping the green so we don't get a pinch.
Yeah, I used to make fun of my mom for dressing, like wearing every single holiday, like some sort of attire for it or apparel or whatever. And now I do it. Like every holiday, you can find me with a Valentine's Day shirt, a St. Patrick's Day shirt, Easter, like all the things.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a little bit more fun now that we're parents to kind of dress up and participate in the holidays.
She got really excited about us wearing our St. Patrick's Day stuff.
Yes.
So
hello everyone. Catch up on our comments. Radina and Lydia and Shelly and Joy. You're driving soon, but you'll be listening, so drive carefully. Be extra careful while you're driving.
Please.
Because you're a friend and we want you to get there safely. So we will have a really good topic, I think, tonight. If you all follow the Healthy page, you probably got a sneak peek of the topic. Yes. But I will let Courtney introduce the topic and then we will get started.
Yes, tonight we're talking about small habits and how they add up, because sometimes people just try to do too much at once. So we're going to talk about just small things you can do that add up to make big changes.
Yep. And most people, when they fail, they don't fail because they don't know what to do. I think all of us here have a really good idea of what to do to get healthy. But the reason that we have a tendency to fail, is we try to do too much at once.
Yes.
So the point of our topic tonight is building small habits, starting small, stacking them on top of each other, and then replacing other habits too.
Yes, because I say it all the time. Start small. Like, you do not have to change everything at once. If I changed everything at once when we start a health journey, I would not have stuck to it. It's really overwhelming. So starting small and starting those small habits really, really do help.
Absolutely. So have you ever gone, we talk about this, all in and then just completely fallen off? And that's completely relatable, and it's so difficult to keep moving.
Yeah, it's why the all or nothing mentality does not work. There's no all or nothing, like, because the problem is, like, you're all in and you're like, I'm going to do this 100%. I'm going to do this, and this. But then when you mess up on just one thing, you're done.
Yep.
It's like, I'm done.
Like saying we're never going to go out to fast food ever again. It's not really sustainable. Not really fun, and it's just not practical either.
Yeah.
Especially for those that are busy. So we will talk about those. So this episode, basically, if you were to summarize it all up in one sentence, or one phrase, is sustainable change. Not extreme change.
Yes, because extreme never works. It might work for a short period of time, but for long.
Or if you've got unnatural willpower, but I don't know about you.
Like, I know people do the 75 hard, and that's great. You do you. I couldn't do it. I've looked at those like rules, and I'm like, nope. I love working out. We work out almost every day, but I cannot work out 90 minutes a day, 75 days straight. I can't do it.
Yep, that's pretty expensive.
But if you've done it, that is amazing. You have the best willpower, and I'm here to cheer you on while you do it. I just won't be doing it right beside you.
Absolutely. So big changes, they can feel motivating, but they're really hard to maintain and sustain. So it's not really ideal to go big. The whole concept of go big or go home, not really the best when it comes to a healthier lifestyle. Might be healthy, great for other aspects, other goals, career goals, whatever. But when it comes to your health goals, probably not really ideally. So small habits can
Mhm.
help build. They require less willpower.
Yes, yes, and they're also easier to repeat daily, because the smaller, the better.
Hmm.
They also can build your confidence through wins. Like, I mean, having this big goal is great, but having these smaller things,
Hmm.
it just like, for instance, saying, "I'm gonna drink an extra glass of water today." You drink that extra glass and you feel good because I met my goal.
Hmm.
So having those small wins can build your confidence in that way as well.
Exactly. And some of the examples of smaller goals to build off of is drink one extra glass of water per day.
Mhm.
Also, we've talked about this before. Steps are amazing. We don't have a minimum required step that we recommend. Just the more you can. But we've talked about this before. You take your weekly average. So let's say you average 5,000 steps a
Mhm.
day in the past couple of weeks. Just take that and then add a little bit to it. Add 500 steps. Add 1,000. So if you average, roughly 5,000 steps in a day, try adding 500 or 1,000 steps and just slowly get more is better than less when it
Mhm.
comes to movement.
Yes, yes, and just like you said, just adding just a small amount each time, just small changes do
Mhm.
add up. That's the whole
Mhm.
point of all of
And
this.
Courtney's mentioned this multiple times before, but swap one snack instead of just removing all of your snacks, overhauling your entire
Mhm.
diet. Just make small changes. We mentioned before. If you're really big into sodas, we love sodas.
Mhm.
So don't want to kill all the joy, but just try minimizing the sodas,
Yeah.
limiting it to one or two per day. Or going. We like also doing the diet sodas too. If we want to have a soda, we're typically going to have a diet soda
Yeah.
because I like to eat my calories, not drink them typically,
Yes,
unless it's in a
absolutely.
coffee.
Mhm. But small daily actions, they can like lead to massive long-term results. I know like just a small change here and there doesn't seem like much, but when you have all these small changes adding up, it's going to make some long-term changes. And like we mentioned earlier, the smaller changes, the small habits are things that are easier to continue for longer periods of time.
Mm, and they make a difference. All these small changes all together. So, removing one of your healthy snacks, your unhealthy snacks, getting a few more steps in, parking farther away at the parking lot, so you have a few more steps.
Mhm.
All those things together make for big changes,
Yes, absolutely.
ultimately.
I try to find small things I can do throughout the day to raise my steps. Like I will go the long way in my classroom, I'll go the long way around. Like instead of just going straight to the kid, I'll like walk around the classroom, then go to the I mean, unless it's something like an emergency. Of course, I'm going straight to the kid.
Mm.
But you get what I mean. I'm gonna find different ways to get steps. And those small things do add up.
I did this today. We have two trash cans. That sometimes when we are extra busy in our lives and we have two trash cans that go to the curb, I walked down to the street. I grabbed one of them and pulled it back up to the house, and then walked back down to the street and grabbed the
Mhm.
second one. Yes, I can technically pull both of them one on each side of me at the same time, but that would also be half the steps.
Mhm.
So do small things like that.
Yes. And here's some ideas of some practical small habits that you can do that can add up to weight loss and help your health overall. Instead of like taking things away immediately, add. Um, one thing that I'm going to go to that in a second, but one thing I've said before is for your first week or so, just eat how you're normally eating and see how many calories you eat,
Hmm.
and then subtract like a little bit here and there. But also, instead of taking stuff away, make sure you're adding thing. If you're adding more protein or more vegetables, you're probably going to be eating less of the junk and unhealthy food anyways.
Hmm.
So add before you subtract. Add the things you should be eating, and eventually you will not be wanting those things that you shouldn't be eating.
Absolutely. And hello, Mary, from Tennessee, our neighbor to the north.
Hello.
We're on. She's on YouTube watching us this evening. So glad to have you here, Mary. I don't think I've seen that name before. So
Mhm.
glad to have you all here. You here watching us. But then we've also talked about slow eating.
Mhm.
Sometimes it takes our bodies a moment to realize that we are indeed full. So just eating a little bit more slower will give your body enough time to communicate, "Hey, I think we've had enough."
Yeah.
And then that helps trigger. So slowing down your eating helps substantially. I know Joy is a really big proponent of making sure to eat slowly. Sherry's got to scoot, but she'll be back. Glad to have you here with us live for a little bit. Sherry likes to also catch us live when she can, but also we've got our recorded versions as well. So YouTube, you can watch it if you want to watch it later.
And hello, Sharon on Instagram.
It's glad to have you all here, and Jody on Instagram as well as many of our other friends. Um, but yes, so don't drink your calories. Personally, I don't like drinking my calories unless it's a really good coffee.
Yeah, that's probably I was about to say that's probably our only exception is we will go and get a really good coffee, but we will like plan it in our week.
Mhm,
We typically I say only get like one a week,
mhm,
and we like plan out our day strategically to make it work. Because if we're getting a coffee that we're spending our money on, we're probably like today we got the healthier ones because we had a gift card and they were not good.
mhm.
They were not.
No, that's good.
So we're probably going to be drinking 3 or 400 calories worth. And that's okay. Just make room for it.
Mhm.
But other than that, we typically do not drink our
Yeah,
calories.
so that's going to be a really big thing. So prioritize your nutrients. If you're going to be eating less, make sure that what you eat is going to be very important. That's also very important. Those of you that might be on the GLP-1 journey, eating less, you've got to prioritize the things that your body needs. You
Yeah.
need protein, you need fiber, you do need some carbs, maybe not a ton, but make sure you prioritize things. I generally speaking, like if I go have a milkshake, it's delicious, yummy,
Mhm.
sweet treat. But it to me, it doesn't really satisfy
No.
my hunger. So I tend to have the
Mhm.
water, the diet sodas, if I want something, and then I can eat
Yes,
whatever I
I
like.
will say another exception to not drinking your calories is when it comes to like a protein shake or something, because those do have like the
Mhm,
ones we drink have like 30 grams of protein. But
mhm,
that's also something that you shouldn't have like a ton of, just because you still should be probably eating your calories.
mhm,
When I say a ton, I mean like not 5 or 6 a day.
mhm.
So yeah.
Devin, welcome to the party.
Hello,
And
Devin.
Barbara, that's okay if you're late. We were 2 minutes late anyway. When are we not?
Sharon asked what kind of coffee. We normally go to like Seven Brew or Dutch Brothers. The healthier coffee we had today was from Dunkin', and we just tried to healthify it and it didn't work.
Yeah, it just didn't taste as good. Our kind of a weekly treat has been the brown butter chocolate chip from Dutch Brothers, but we do the protein latte. So if we're
Oh,
gonna
so
so if we're
crazy.
gonna have 500 calories, um
It's got like 30 something grams of
might as well
protein.
have 30 grams of protein and have the caffeine in it as well. So delicious. So that's like our weekly thing. And so that's been kind of our treat. Then that's one of the few things that I will legitimately enjoy.
Hmm.
But we'll have like a small protein bar and then that's our breakfast.
Yeah.
Plenty of protein. So generally speaking, I like to eat my
Hmm.
calories. So that helps there.
Yes. And then going on to more small habits for weight loss. Um like he mentioned earlier, your step goal. If you're doing 5,000 steps, just try to up it to like 5,250, 5,300. Like just up it a little bit gradually. You don't I promise you, you don't want to go from doing like 4,000 steps to 10,000.
Mhm.
You're going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable. That's a lot of like you don't
Your body's not
realize
going to be
when
used
people
to it.
say, "Ooh, I did 10,000 steps." You don't realize how much that is until you go from like a very low amount, like a desk job,
Mhm.
to doing 10,000 steps. It's a lot. I generally speaking do get 10,000 steps because I'm chasing children around all day. I'm a preschool teacher.
Yeah, I work at a desktop, so it's a little harder for me to get my steps. So I just have to be a little more intentional. Sharon on Instagram asks if we recommend Rise mushroom coffee. We have not
I've
tried it,
never had that.
but we have heard lots of really good things about it. So
Mhm.
that definitely would be helpful. Jody also mentions eating a lot of rotisserie chicken. Rotisserie chicken is going to be really, really good. She gets 3 small ones from the market and she freezes
Mhm.
them. So really, really good options there. Um, Devin mentioned having 7,000 steps on his Apple Watch. I have 7,900 steps.
I have almost 9,000.
Yeah, she has a lot more than me. She also has shorter legs, so it takes her more steps to go the same distance as me.
I'm also
And we're the
doing a
same.
10,000 step challenge right now, so I've been purposefully like walking around a little extra today.
Mhm. Absolutely. So just setting extra goals, adding a little bit, stack these habits. So walk while you're on a phone call. If you have to be stuck on a phone call, get some steps in. For me, I'm at my desk a lot. I have a standing desk. So I
Yes.
like to try to get some steps during my day.
But with the habit stacking that we just talked about, I didn't really hear about habit stacking until I was in a program a month or so ago. And like week one, she started with like positive mindset.
Hmm.
Week two, she did nutrition. But then you're still doing your positive mindset. And then week three, you do your exercise, but you're still doing your nutrition and your positive mindset. So each week you add something, and that's why it's called habit stacking. You're stacking those habits, but you're starting one habit at a time, so you're not getting overwhelmed.
Hmm.
So that's what if when he said habit stacking, that's what that is. And I never really thought of it that way
Hmm.
before, and it's a really like it really does work. Just like, and you don't even have to like say like one a day. Like I'm gonna add a new habit tomorrow. Just do one thing this week. The next week, add one more thing to it, and stacking your habits like that really does like it makes some small changes that like we keep saying, I feel like broken record, but they really do add up.
Mhm. And also, when it comes to these, we're adding smaller habits, but ultimately, our goal
Mhm.
is to start replacing some of the negative habits, the bad habits, with more
Yes.
healthier options. So when we're heavy on the snacks, uh, replace some of the unhealthy snacks with healthier ones. So you're still snacking, but you're having some healthier options. Not having those unhealthy snacks readily available. We like to not have them, so we do like to have them in our house, but have them maybe put up. So you have to
Mhm.
actively go and get them. Have the healthier things. We keep the bananas and the apples and the oranges on the counter that are within arm's reach that we can grab, our daughter can grab, but
Mhm.
the things that we shouldn't have as often, put them up in the cabinet,
Yeah,
put
we
them up
make
a
them a
little
little
higher.
harder to get to, so we have to think about it. Like we have to be aware. And that's actually the next thing we're going to talk about is awareness.
Mhm.
You can't really fix something that you don't notice.
Mhm.
So the bad habits you have, you first kind of need to be aware of them
Mhm.
before you can really get rid of them. Like nighttime
Oh,
snacking.
that's a
That's
difficult one.
we've
That's
actually
still,
gotten a
yeah.
lot better at it.
Mhm.
We used to be ones that like the second we got in bed, we'd have a snack. He likes the Luigi's like ice things, and then I like my yogurt bowls. But like now I plan a nighttime something to have when I'm in bed.
Mhm.
But I plan my day
Plans it in the app and make sure
Yes.
that she has room for it.
Yes. But if you don't realize that you're like some people do nighttime snacking without even realize it. Like
Mhm.
they just got that bag of potato chips and they're just like, bam. You have to be aware of your bad habits before you can change them.
Yep, I cannot be alone with the bag of chips in our room.
Mhm.
I will have to portion them out and leave the bag in the kitchen, so that because I won't even realize it. I will just eat and forget that I'm eating because I'm watching TV or doing something, and then next thing I know, the whole bag's gone.
Mhm.
So I have to be mindful. That's a habit of mindless eating, and so if I don't have it with me, I can have a portion with me, and when it's gone,
Mhm.
and I stop eating. So that will definitely help a lot.
And that's also one reason that the nighttime snacking is not good for us. What a lot of times when we end up like going overboard is when we get in bed with a bag of chips and some dip. We don't portion anything out, and we just like before we know it, the bag's gone and the dip's gone, and we've both consumed like 1,000 calories. So, but another thing that goes along with that is stress eating. Sometimes we don't even realize like
Mhm.
we're stress eating. He will ask me sometimes, "What do I want?" And if I'm stressed, do you know what my answer is?
It's usually Reese's.
It's usually no, usually my answer is
Oh.
anything bad.
Oh, yeah, anything bad.
Like, that's
But
usually
Reese's
how
is
he
one of
knows that I'm stressed out because I'm like, "Anything bad. Give me anything bad."
Mhm.
But if you don't realize you're stress eating or even realize that that's a habit that you have some people don't realize their
Mhm.
habits.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why it's a habit because it's something you do without realizing it sometimes.
And that's why it's also good, like she mentioned in the beginning, tracking everything you eat, so you can just be aware of
Mhm.
how much you have, and then that's when you can find areas you wanna work on.
Yes. And then another thing is reduce, don't eliminate.
Mhm.
Like he said earlier with the eating out, instead of saying, I'm never going to eat out again, if you eat out 5 times a week, typically, eat out one or two next week. Like just start cutting back. And then we used to be like, what, 3, 4 times a week
Oof,
going out to
yeah.
eat. It was awful. Now we're lucky if we go out to eat once, but we had to cut back, and it was not
And it
just for
wasn't
our
right
health.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was also for our finances. Like we're eating, like we're spending like $300 a week on food. We can't do that.
Hmm.
So yes, and then you can do the uh one of those.
Yeah, so you mentioned that to not keep the junk food readily available, but pair old triggers with new behaviors. You're stressed and you normally would you
Hmm.
go snack. If you're stressed, go out for a walk. Walking is a really good way to, especially if the weather's beautiful, to clear your head, get some fresh air, get some
Uh-huh.
activity. You don't have to go for a run, but just go out and walk. And you don't have to go very far, but when you're tempted to go pick something up to eat, go out for a short walk.
I found when I'm stressed, or especially when I'm angry, the thing that I have found that
Not that
really
she's ever
helps,
angry.
I'm never an angry person. But the thing that helps it for me is strength training. I want to go lift something heavy, and it really does help. So find that positive thing you can do when you're feeling
It
negatively.
also helps that when she can go strength training and she has to make at heavier weights when there are some guys doing the machines, that is a really big ego boost too, and
It
really
is.
good for the stress.
Uh-huh.
If you're bored, drink water.
Yes, absolutely. But also, you also need to realize that your bad habits are probably going to show up again some way, shape, or
Hmm.
form, and you're going to have to kind of try to push them away. Old habits don't disappear; they just kind of get quieter,
Hmm.
but they're still there. My stress eating, it's still there. Next time I get stressed, I'm gonna want to eat Reese's. I'm gonna want to eat burgers. Like
Hmm.
that's just how it is. But also realize that because they are still gonna be there, even if it's just once every 6 months,
Hmm.
you might slip up some.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And
you
it's
will.
okay. It's
Yeah.
not failure. It's just part of the process. And one slip up is not going to cause you to ruin all of that progress. My mother is not being nice to me on here. I'm just throwing that out there.
Sometimes she's the source of her anger.
She said that she's experienced my anger. She's never experienced my anger. I'm not an angry person.
Definitely not. So moving on, progress is not replacing all of your bad habits, but it's just reducing how often they happen and how often they win.
Hmm.
So it's not about completely erasing them; it's just minimizing how often they do. Oh, Sarah mentions electrolytes. Electrolytes are very important, very very important because that helps your body absorb the water. I mean, you drink tons of water, that's all well and good, but sometimes all that's doing is going straight through you. But the
Hmm.
electrolytes will help your body retain some of that water that it needs, so that it's hydrated.
Yeah.
So electrolytes is very good. We have a tendency to add some electrolytes into our water. We have some drink packets we get from the dollar store that have some
Hmm.
electrolytes. So we've talked about this in the past. So we've kind of made our own homemade Gatorade, where if you've got your flavored drink, just add a little bit of salt in there. That little bit of salt will help you absorb that water a lot. But there's lots of ways you can get your electrolytes in. But those are
Hmm.
also very important. We have heard of people drinking so much water but they don't have enough electrolytes. They're not getting the water they actually need. It's just
Hmm.
going straight through them, and that's not doing their body any good. So that is definitely very important.
Yes, and with that, people act like salt is just awful. You should never have salt. You do need salt.
Mhm.
Yes, you can have too much salt, but you do need salt. It is one of those electrolytes that does help your water to not bloat. Too much will make you bloat. There's like a fine balance between like salt, but the electrolytes is something that will help.
Mhm. Yes. So moving on to small habit that has stuck. So that would be just getting up and being more moving more throughout the day, especially for me. I'm at this very desk, 9 hours a day,
Mhm.
and just getting up and being intentional about that. That is something. And sometimes I like seeing how long I can stand. And I don't necessarily have to be doing steps, but it's a game for
Mhm.
me sometimes. I like to see how long I can stand without feeling the urge to sit down. And so that's a small habit that for me has kind of stuck.
Mhm. Absolutely. And then is that it?
There's also old habits that still pop up. The nighttime snacking is a habit that is not possible, I think, for us to completely kill,
Mhm.
but it is something that we can minimize.
Yes, absolutely. And then like we said before, remember you are human.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still going to be things you can think they're gone forever. And then here they are. You're stressed out one day, and here is your desire to have all those Reese's again. So just remember you are human, and we do slip up sometimes, and it's okay. It's not going to ruin all of your progress.
Nope. And then small habits, they don't feel powerful in the moment because they're small. But what they do is they make for big change when added together makes for a big change. So don't think about how much what that one habit is going to impact your life. Think about all the habits that we're stacking together to make a healthier you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Agreed.
So now that we've talked about our topic, let's go ahead while we've got a few minutes left, talk about our recipe for the week. Coach Delicia, who helps us with our recipe graphics, said this one sounds delicious. So
it's very good.
It's
been a long time since we've made this one too. Can you put
yes.
it up?
No. Why would we want to do that?
This is Taco Sloppy Joe's. And
yum.
you need a pound of lean ground beef or whatever leanness you like. I know some people just prefer the not so lean.
Or you could do ground turkey.
Ground turkey, ground chicken, whatever. I think when we made this, we actually might have done ground turkey or ground chicken. But you need that. You need 1.5 cups of salsa, any sort of salsa you want. A tablespoon of brown sugar replacement. We typically use Swerve. A tablespoon of mustard, and then 6 whatever kind of buns. Carb Master. We also found out this week that Walmart has their brand Better Goods. If you haven't heard of that before, it's their like healthier stuff. They have a lower carb, 50 calorie, high protein
buns,
hamburger buns. So we will probably be trying those next time we make this. Anyways, any sort of low cal, or you can just use regular buns. That works too.
Or put it in a wrap. Who knows?
Or put it in a wrap.
Or whatever floats your boat.
Or make a bowl. Whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat, we're here for you. Cook the ground beef in a skillet until it's cooked through. Drain it. I forgot to put that part. Stir in the salsa, the brown sugar, and the mustard, and then cook until it's bubbly and nice. Lower the heat and cook for an additional 5 minutes until it starts to thicken up a little bit. Serve it on a hamburger bun with whatever toppings you would like. We did like sour cream and cheese, just basically taco toppings. But it's delicious. This is between 5 and 6 bites. That's including the bun. 254 calories. Remember, that's including the bun. And then 10 net carbs, which is pretty good. 34.4 grams of protein.
That is amazing. And you can pair that with one of your healthy sides of choice. You can do the green bean fried green beans, all kinds of really amazing things. Zoodles, whatever tastes good for you. But that is a really good like main entree. Very small in bites, very small in calories, but add your favorite side to it.
There's also a lot of calories. If you really wanted to have 2, you could. That'd be like 500 calories, almost 70 grams of protein.
Depending on how many bites you have in your day, could definitely work. For us, for those of you that are lower in the bite spectrum, because I know we're still a little higher on our weight still, we have plenty of bites left. But there are some of you that are closer to your goal weight, and you might only have 15, 20 bites for the day. So that would take a pretty big portion. So that's where you take advantage. If you're on the bite plan, the 0 bite foods as your sides.
Absolutely.
But yes, well, thank you so much for joining us this week. I hope you have found something helpful out of this and can take this and start adding those small habits in and stack them to make this big, massive change you're going to be bringing into your life. But hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.